So as usual, we are here at this time, in this evening, gathering to practice meditation. And at home, those who are following, you have spared your time to practice this half an hour. So making sure that you're continuously practicing. And particularly at home, you may have so many duties to be fulfilled and responsible. So many things to be done and so many things have to be doing. For this time of a half an hour, making sure that you are doing nothing apart from sitting comfortably, listening the guidance and practicing meditation. I remember a few years ago when Lumpur Sambun was still alive, I had an opportunity to look after him for some times, and every night he used to tell me, saying that we have been working since we woke up. Now this is time to rest. Let the mind have rest. So this 1 hour at those days, it was such a powerful message that the Buddha, the Lumpur Sambun gave it to me, saying that this is time to rest our mind. And that's how I join the chanting and meditation. And now this is the same thing to you all. Even in a center, every one of us are working so hard in different duties. Now this is time for us to rest mentally and physically, and as well as cultivating our mind. So the practice of a meditation or a sati is to know what's happening during the time of here and now, as it is taking place, when it is taking place, as they are, the way it is. And it is the moment that we are observing the way our mind is aware of things, what is taking place. Oftentimes, even in meditation time, we are thinking so much. There are things to be done, and a job, and papers to be done, cooking to be done, or checking emails and other business to be done, and so and so. So our mind is simply so full of stuffs that I normally call that our mind is full of so many stories, and unable to enjoy the moment here and now, and unable to watch what's going on in the body, in the feelings, and in the mind. That's why it's been 3 days I'm trying to give you these 4 foundations of mindfulness in a holistic way, to find out, to realize what's happening here in this very moment in this body, how you feel this body, what else is going on, and what are the sensations that you can observe, and what's going on in your mind. The mind sometimes can play many different tricks. When we do one thing, it wants to do something else. And how you deal with that. So the practice of a meditation or cultivation of the mind that we are practicing here is to understand what's going on here and now, and ability to be mindful of such things rather than something that we are thinking of. So it is not what we want it to be, but aware of things as they are. It's like when you are going for a walk. Rather than thinking about something which is not there, simply aware of as you walk, the grass crumbling, the wind blowing, or the rain dropping, or the birds singing. These are the momentary, the present moment things that's happening. And the same now we are sitting, practicing the sitting meditation. And this time, we are simply, rather than being mindful of external things, we are mindful of internal within ourselves, this body and the mind. So being mindful rather than mind full of stuffs. And that is what we are trying to develop. And most of the time, in our life, we always think of the work, work, work. I have to do this, I have to do that, and then after having done this, I will be happy. A never-ending job. And work will never end until we die. That's why we don't have time until we die. The very moment when we die, at that moment we will have time. And we will have nothing to do. That moment, our body has left, our consciousness has left the body. And that moment, this body is simply like a piece of lock, left over. That's why it's called achirang vatayang kayo. Pathaving adisesati chutto apeta vinyanang kalinkarang wama. So, left over the piece of lock, which has no feelings. So that's why we don't have time if we do not give it to. And I have been telling you a lot that when there is entertainment for our senses, we can manage to have time at any cost. But the time when we want to cultivate, we don't have time. So, try to make a balance with it. So we have to energize ourselves to be mindful. So we have to develop the awareness of the situation here and now. An ability to accept whichever ways you are in. Some days will be good mindfulness, other days will be bad mindfulness. Other days you cannot meditate, some days you cannot. You can. But all what we need is to continue. Whether it is pleasant or unpleasant sensations, whether it is good or bad, whatever is happening, we simply observe. We're simply mindful of that. We are not predicting anything. We are not hoping anything. We are not expecting anything at this moment. All what we are doing is to be mindful of what's happening. And everything that we are mindful of here and now at this very moment, that is the power. And what's happening here in this very moment that we are mindful of, that we can be mindful, is this body sitting here calmly, peacefully. And how do we feel this body? And that's through the sensation that is connecting us between our mind, our consciousness, and this body. So we are mindful of that. And seeing this connection and how our mind is working. So the body is the first foundation as a gross, solid, we can pay attention to, which is very close to us and which is with us. And to feel this body's presence, there is a sensations. So we have to go through the sensation. And with this sensation, what happens? How we are reacting? Which state of the mind that we have? Are we reacting with the greed? Are we reacting with the hatred? Are we reacting with the nonsense? Or we are simply feeding our desire one after another? Never ending. All what we are doing is to be mindful, is to be aware of it, knowing as it is. No reacting. Responding, okay, this is happening, fine. I accept. So that's why there is a practice called I'm aware. I'm aware this is happening. So tonight, again, simply be mindful of what's happening. And be mindful of it is as it is. And this half an hour, doesn't matter how important job out there, just forget about it. You're training this mind. Simply aware, the body, the mind, the feelings, the conditions, in whichever state we are. So the Buddha termed it Yatha Bhuta Jnana Dasanam. Yatha Bhuta, as it is, the way it is. Jnana Dasanam, seeing with the wisdom. And how do we see with the wisdom? Everything must change. Nothing remains the same. Even the breath change, our feeling change, wordings are changed. Is there anything that is unchanged? There's only one thing that is unchanged, is our grasp. And that grasp, the more we grasp on, the harder it becomes. So learning to let go. No grasping. So with the help of the breath incoming and outgoing, learning to be present here and now. And whatever experiencing, whatever mind is observing or knowing or aware or be mindful, just as it is and let it be, and enjoying the moment. So continue practicing until you hear the gong in this way. let's practice the loving kindness meditation. Relax yourself. And allowing yourself to be happy, at peace, and free from suffering. Feeling from your bottom of heart and spreading this love and kindness to yourself. Sometimes we are very harsh on oneself, blaming oneself of not doing this and not doing that, or should have done this and should have done that. So forgiving and forgetting and move on, wishing to be well and happy to your own self. Similarly, sharing loving kindness and compassion to all other sentient beings, starting from near dear one, a particular person that you would like to share, or anyone, or all the beings, whatever beings there are. May they be well, may they be happy, may they be at peace and free from suffering. Free from suffering, physical and mental suffering, free from hurtfulness and hatred. No harm come to them, no danger come to them. May they be well and happy at all the time, and be liberated. Whatever beings there are, visible and invisible beings in this room, in the city, on earth, in the universe, may all beings be well and happy. May all beings be well and happy. Let's pay respect to the Buddha. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Sawakhato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Subhadibhano Bhagavato Sawaka Sangho Sanghang Namah